Good afternoon, everybody. Um, First of all, I'd like to thank AIOC and Dr. Chandana Chakraborty Madam for giving me this opportunity to speak in front of you all esteemed people. My talk is systemic disease-related hot orbit. So what is hot orbit? It's an orbital inflammatory disease or orbital inflammation that has an etiologically diverse spectrum of condition, but they are unified in their association with abnormal inflammation in the periorbital region. And it is characterized by pain, proptosis, ptosis, extraocular movement limitation, dryness, and dimness of vision. Etiologically, orbital inflammation can be grossly classified as infectious and non-infectious. And among the non-infectious, systemic disease plays a major part. And then neoplastic, vascular, and idiopathic. In this talk, I'll be mainly talking on systemic disease-related inflammatory disease. If we talk about systemic inflammatory disease, the major part is played by thyroid orbitopathy. Next is vasculitis, which again can be granulomatous polyangiitis or Wegener granulomatosis, PAN, Church disease, temporal arteritis, etc. Next is sarcoidosis, connective tissue disorder, which again can be Sjogren and non-Sjogren like SLE and rheumatoid arthritis. And next is immunoglobulin GG4 related orbitopathy and giant cell myositis. First is thyroid orbitopathy. It is an autoimmune inflammatory disorder which commonly occurs in patients with autoimmune hyperthyroidism. Female outnumbers male, and this is the Rundle curve, which is showing the natural progression of the disease. The first stage is active phase. In this active phase, actually the acute inflammatory cases or the hot orbit cases presents. It presents with lid retraction, periorbital edema, conjunctival injection, proptosis, exposure keratopathy, and dimness of vision due to dysthyroid optic neuropathy. Here, this is one case of mine. 48 years old lady presented with sudden pain, proptosis, dimness of vision to finger counting close to face. On exophthalmometry, it is 36 and 38 millimeter in Hartel exophthalmometer with the base 96. Pupillary reaction was sluggish in both eye, conjunctival chemosis. In right eye cornea, there is PEE, that is punctate erosion, and in left eye, there is infiltrated exposure keratopathy. This is the disc photo showing blurring of the disc margin with disc congestion, suggestive of compressive optic neuropathy. CT scan orbit was done, and you can see there is thickening of the muscle belly. All the muscles are thickened, sparing the tendon. All blood tests, the common blood test which has been done is normal, except the patient has hyperthyroid status, and anti-TPO antibody and anti-TG thyroglobulin antibody was severely high. So this patient is diagnosed as the active severe thyroid orbitopathy with dysthyroid optic neuropathy. Clinical activity score was 6/7. So I managed the case with first high dose pulse IV MP methylprednisolone. Methylprednisolone IV 1000 milligram per day for 3 consecutive days, then followed by 500 milligram per week for 4 weeks. But the result was suboptimal. So early orbital decompression was done. This is a nice treatment algorithm, sir. And in this chart, it's saying that if the cases presents with a mild activity, then we can just treat them. It is conservatively. And if the patient is on moderate to severe, then low dose pulse IVMP therapy can be given. And if the patient presents with severe site-threatening orbitopathy, like my case, then high dose IVMP is given first, and if there is good response, then we can continue with the immunomodulation. But if the response is suboptimal, like this patient, then we can devise early decompression is the rule. So in the right eye, 2-wall and left eye 3-wall decompression has been done, and this is the result after 3 months. The patient vision from improved from finger counting close to phase 2, 612 in right eye and 618 in left eye after 3 months. Next group is vasculitis. Okay. This is granulomatous polyangiitis, or in this type of inflammatory disease, patient usually have saddle nose or bony deformity. The nasal sinuses are involved. Next group is sarcoidosis. In sarcoidosis, the serum ACE and lysozyme level supports the diagnosis. Yes, sir.
Ma'am, I would request
you sure.
It up so that we can move on to
yes, sure. Next is immunoglobulin GG4 disease. I'll just cover it. So come to the diagnosis. Clinical history, clinical findings, and CT scan is the baseline of a diagnosis. We have to take the history properly, and in history, the evaluation is important. Orbital imaging, MRI with contrast is the preferred investigation. And on this is my last final slides, please. If we find it is infective one, then CT scan, complete blood count and culture is being done.
interruption.
If thyroid, then we'll examine through the antibody, thyroid antibody.
Joyita,
so the management, if it is mild, then NSAID is sufficient. Yes, ma'am, this is the last slide. Yes.
So interruption.
So oral intravenous corticosteroid is the mainstay of induction therapy. Yes, this is, its network is problem. Although orbital inflammatory diseases are rare, it is often associated with systemic inflammation, and focusing on specific inflammatory pathway associated with orbital inflammatory disease allows for best utilization of newly developed inflammatory and modulatory medication. Thank you.